These are the rarest coins in American history. Made in a roughly circular shape, the New England shilling had a stylized NE stamped near the edge on one side, and the Roman numeral 12 stamped at the opposite end on the other side. The irregular shape made clipping the coins a trivial matter. They were discontinued after a few months in favor of the more traditional-looking willow tree shillings in 1653. The 1790 to half dime was a single-year mintage, being replaced by the 1790 for flowing hair half dime 2 years later. There are around 300 surviving 1790 to half dimes, including a singular spectacular MS68 example. It was once owned by the first director of the Mint, David Rittenhouse, that sold for $1,985,000. The 1907 high-relief wire-rimmed double eagle is one of the most sought-after rare coins in American history. It was the first St. Gaudens double eagle to be released to the public. Unlike the handful of ultra-high-relief examples, which start at $1 million, the nicest 1907 high-relief wire rim is valued in the high six figures. The 1933 Indian head gold eagle is a famous numismatic rarity that almost didn't survive government gold confiscation. 312,500 gold eagles were struck in January and February 1933, but only a handful made it out of the vaults at the Philadelphia Mint before the government ordered all gold coins be melted down. Unlike the famous 1933 double eagle, the 1933 gold eagle is completely legal to own. 748,750 double eagles were struck in San Francisco in 1861, further masking the release of the pocket reverse coins. It wasn't until 1937 that the coin was recognized as a variety of the Liberty Head double eagle. By this time, they had all been circulating for decades, with many survivors hidden in European bank vaults as part of currency reserves. The 1848 Cal Liberty headquarter eagles were the first coins made from gold from the California Gold Rush in late 1848. Military governor of the California Territory, Colonel Richard B. Mason, sent 128 ounces of the first gold mined in California to the Secretary of War in Washington, D.C., along with his letter describing the discovery. The 1838 O-capped bust half dollar is a rare and historically important coin that was never officially struck. The 20 or so coins minted were an experiment by the superintendent of the newly opened New Orleans Mint. He wanted to see if half dollars could be produced on the coin press intended to strike silver dollars. One of the rarest mintages in the history of the Carson City Mint, only 10,890 1871 to CC seated Liberty quarters were struck. These were all snapped up and put to work in the regional economy. As a result, even worn-out and damaged survivors are worth thousands of dollars today. There are certainly fewer than 75 left in any condition. The 1871 to CC seated Liberty dime holds a prominent place in Carson City coin collecting. 1871 was the first year the Nevada Mint produced dimes, and only a mere 20,100 were struck. They quickly disappeared into the cash-starved economy of the Southwest. Very few were saved, either accidentally or deliberately. One of the rarest non-era coins in U.S. numismatics, the 1901 S. Barber quarter, had a mintage of only 72,644 coins. Most of the few survivors today are extremely worn to where only the outlines of the features remain. There are around 2,000 surviving coins. The 19160 Mercury dime is a key date in the series, both for being a first-year issue and the extremely small mintage of 264,000 coins. In comparison, more than 22 million 1916 Mercury dimes were produced in Philadelphia, and more than 10 million by the San Francisco Mint. The Flying Eagle cent is credited for the birth of American coin collecting by the general public. When people learned the large cent was being discontinued, they began keeping them instead of using them. Opinions of the actual 1856 Flying Eagle mintage range from 1,500 to 2,150 coins. An estimated 800 1856 Flying Eagle cents survive today. While the mintage of the 1919D Walking Liberty half dollar is far from the lowest in the series, it remains the conditional rarity. Most of the more than 1.1 million 1919D walkers went directly into circulation, which pushes the average grade for survivors down to VF35, the strike is almost always weak in the center, especially on the highest points like Liberty's left hand. A low mintage and surprise release combined to make the 1916 Standing Liberty Quarter another big rarity in 20th century U.S. numismatics. A protracted design process meant that the first 1916 Standing Liberty Quarters weren't struck until December 16th. Only 52,000 were made. They weren't released until the next January when they entered circulation mixed in with 1917 dated coins. Like many other new coin designs at the turn of the 20th century, the initial piece dollar had very high relief features. This led to there not being enough silver in the blank to completely fill the highest point in the design when struck under normal pressure. For this reason, fully struck mint state coins command a premium. The 1895 proof Morgan dollar is often called the king of Morgan dollars, although mint records indicate that a mere 12,000 Morgan dollars were struck in 1895. None have ever been found. This has left collectors with only the 880 proof 1895 Morgans struck that year to fill that spot in their collections. The 1893 Morgan dollar is the absolute key date of circulation strike Morgans. A tiny 100,000 mintage and the popularity of hard money in the western U.S. means that perhaps 1 in 10 have survived to the present day. Most are heavily worn. The 1930 three-legged buffalo nickel is another rare coin that is famous among the general public. As a result of some overzealous polishing on a damaged reverse die at the Denver Mint, the right front leg of the bison was completely removed from the surface of the die. Here is one of the most famous error coins of all time. The 1943 Lincoln wheat cents struck on bronze plankets create excitement whenever they appear at auction. Due to wartime shortages of copper in 1943, the U.S. Mint was forced to use zinc-coated steel blanks to make 1-cent coins. The Lincoln cent was introduced in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Victor David Brenner was chosen to design the coin. Following the lead of foreign coin artists, he added his name in small letters below the wheat sheaves on the reverse of the cent. Chief engraver of the Mint Charles Barber replaced Brenner's name with the initials VDB. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.